Having hard conversations doesn't actually have to be hard if you understand these core elements. So it doesn't matter if you're running a business, if it's dealing with your family, if it's, maybe a romantic relationship that you're involved in, or maybe even with a friend. Having a hard conversation is a normal part of our own personal development process, as well as the process that's necessary to achieve harmony and balance inside of your relationship. So unless you're a toxic individual, which, some people thrive on tension and chaos, if that's you, then this conversation is not for you. But if you're someone who wants to have healthy relationships where you can actually feel that clear flow of energy and it just feels so cozy to be in the relationship, then this is for you. Because my belief is this: healthy relationships feel like the safest place to be at the end of the day, right? When you are inside of a really great, solid, healthy relationship, you crave to get into that space. And then when it's time to, go out into the world and do our mission, that's where, life can be a little bit hard and you're out there, you're a warrior of whatever it is that you're working on. And then at the end of the day, or throughout the day, whenever you need it, you know that the relationship is a safe place for you to land. It's one where you feel welcomed, you feel heard, you feel seen, you feel like immense gratitude. And so a lot of what gets us to this place of achieving that harmony and balance is our ability to have hard conversations. And so I'm going to cover a few recommendations if you are struggling with relationships, or for whatever reason, communication is hard. It's painful. It feels like an uphill battle for you. So my first recommendation, if dealing with, if you've got a hard conversation that you need to have, and it's normal, like these things happen. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to hurt you. People are going to betray you, but it's your ability to go in and put an effort towards understanding, repairing, and getting to the other side of that. That's going to make all the difference in yourself and then in the relationship. So the first thing you want to do is you want to treat it like it's something that is fragile. All right. Let's say somebody wronged you. And you can feel the pain in your body. It hurts to think about it. Like it's just not a good space to be in. And you're trying to figure out, how can I communicate to this person that what they've done has hurt me? What they've done was very inconsiderate. Or even whenever I've tried to express how it made me feel, they didn't really care to listen. They didn't care to change their position whatsoever, take ownership or responsibility. This is okay. This is normal. This is all part of it. I've messed up. Other people have messed up. But here's how I would approach the conversation. You need to come from the perspective of, this is how I feel. This is the impact your actions had on me. And I think it's important that you're aware of this. Now, what you'll notice is I'm not lashing out at anyone. Number one, I don't believe in communicating through anger like that unless it's like life or death, or somebody's after, it's coming from a protection standpoint. Where there's like a stranger or whatever. I don't want to use my anger or my animosity as ammunition to hurt another person just because they hurt me. Instead, what I want to do is I want to sit with the pain. And I want to really understand how I feel before I go into the conversation. Because if I attempt to go into the conversation too soon to try and understand, it could create more triggering and a massive explosion. So keep the perspective, I feel. The actions that you took, whether you're aware of them or not, had this impact on me. And until I feel seen in that, until I feel like you're really able to sit in that space with me, I may have a hard time staying in this dynamic, because everybody needs to do their work. There's not one person in any relationship that's responsible for all of the work. That's not balance and harmony. That's literally taking all of the weight of the relationship, of the dynamic, whatever it is that you're in, and placing it on the shoulders of one person, which is never fair. But there are going to be times where inside of these relationships, you know, you have to give back the responsibility to the other person. So growing up, I took on a lot of responsibility as a woman and as a child. I did as a teenager as well. And I found that a lot of people in my family refused to take responsibility for their actions. And so what would they do? They would make me the bad guy. They would put all of it on me, and then I would have to do the processing and do all of the work until whenever it was time for me to share it, they were like, oh, that's yours. It's actually not mine though. It's not my work to do. This is as far as I can take stuff. So that brings me to point 2. So the first one is you want to make sure that you're clear on the I perspective. This is how I felt, the actions and everything. And then you want to transition to, okay, this is as far as I can take the processing of this situation. The rest is going to be on you. And if you put no effort into communicating about it or making sure that there's harmony, or you like to avoid or not pay attention to or not look or just look the other way and pretend like it never happened, then what you're really saying is, I don't care about this relationship. What you're really saying when you refuse to address something is, this is not important to me. And what you're doing is invalidating the person who it made an impact on. And when a person feels totally and completely invalidated by you, they leave. They leave. They stop putting effort into something, energy into something, thoughts into something. There's no more to unpack here, because the person has now made it clear where they stand, and your effort to close the gap is now unnoticed. And that's a tough place to be. But all I can say is this: if you're the person that's going in for the repair, if you're the person that's going in for understanding, you've done your part already. There's no more that you need to do, because now it's up to the other person to either meet you halfway or to put it down and walk away, because that's the only other option. You cannot be in a relationship in harmony where it feels good and safe and healthy, and both people aren't doing the work. Okay, there's me, there's you, and there's the relationship that we're creating. And if both people aren't pouring into the relationship, honey, there is no relationship. There's just me holding together something that doesn't even exist. It takes two to tango, is what they say. And if there's no more tangoing, then there's the door. You see, everybody comes to the relationship with belief systems, values, hopefully. And if they're not matched, there's no harmony. If the relationship becomes unsafe, meaning when I'm in the relationship, I feel like I'm in more danger than when I'm not in the relationship. Unless you're a toxic individual, then you're gonna get the hell out of there. Now, toxic people who thrive on those negative energetic patterns, they're gonna stay in that dynamic. That's where the familiarity takes place. That's where, okay, I know what this is. I love to fight. I like to hurt and be hurt. And then we make up afterwards. Yeah, not for me. That's just not for me. I would rather make an attempt to have the hard conversation, see where the other person stands, and then decide, okay, is this someone that I think I could be in a relationship with? It doesn't matter what stage of relationship. Is this someone who I know will help me pick up the weight of the relationship? And if not, then now we know. Now we know. Yeah. Hard conversations are a natural part of relationship building. It's the thing that will determine the success of your relationship. And so if you're the kind of person that spends the majority of your time avoiding the hard conversations, avoiding the very thing that is going to bring harmony, if that is you, or you're not willing to sit in the space of what makes you uncomfortable and then bring that information forward, you're probably not designed for relationships. Right? You're probably not designed for relationships. Great relationships do require some work, and really all that work is just saying, here's me, do you understand me? Here's you, do I understand you? And is this something that we can still see more growth and potential around? Because if not, we're gonna have to put this thing down. Yeah. So wishing you nothing but the best in the relationships in your life. May you find the harmony in companionship, the balance that so many of us really crave, right? A relationship should be a safe place for us to land at the end of the day. It should be that place that it brings that to us, not stress, not tension. Even though that might come up sometimes, you really want to know that when you're dealing with a person, that person's got your back. I don't know why my phone just always seems to be crooked when I'm trying to record. Yeah, you just want to know that person really has your back. You want to know that your heart is safe. Your heart is safe. If you know your heart is safe, if you know that that person has your back, they're looking out for you, they're looking at your blind spots to help you cover them, not looking for your weaknesses to help you exploit them, that's when you know you found a good person.